President Biden is ramping up his infrastructure push this week. He'll visit New York City today, where he's expected to address funding for a massive tunnel project connecting New Jersey and New York. Yesterday, he traveled to Baltimore to discuss a tunnel that will receive federal support to help rebuild. The president has praised the bipartisan infrastructure package for helping to pay for these projects. So for more on all of this, we want to bring in Weijia Jiang at the White House this morning. So we got two big projects that the president is showing off. Can you sort of break down the projects? And also, why is he doing so much traveling? Why does he want the country to know about this?
Good morning, Anne Marie. You're right. Another day, another tunnel. And I think that, President Biden said very early on that one thing he wished the Obama administration had done differently when he served as vice president was take a few more victory laps, was to remind the American people of everything that they accomplished. And that's something that he is clearly doing right now with a heavy focus on the infrastructure package that was already passed. Today, he'll be in New York City touting, as you mentioned, a new project with a mega grant that, he is using here as part of that piece of legislation, about $300 million for a new bridge between New Jersey and New York under the Hudson River. But I think the administration would say just as importantly for commuters to have a smoother ride and less congestion would be the 70,000 jobs that they say it's going to create. This is on the heels of his trip to Baltimore yesterday, where he also talked about a aging rail system there that was getting revamped, because I think they really want to draw the distinction, Anne Marie, between what the president's vision is and what Republicans are really slamming him on. And they want to show that this creates jobs. This is how you stimulate the economy. And that's why it's not only these two projects, but he has a host of others that, he is trying to promote, that other members of his administration are traveling around the country to do the same, to remind people that it's not just about, the project itself, it's about how it's going to get up and running, and that is with new jobs.
So also, the president is set to meet with Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, tomorrow. They're going to discuss raising the debt ceiling, though it seems like, the two are quite far apart. What have we learned about the upcoming talks?
Well, Speaker McCarthy would like to say that this is a meeting about the debt ceiling, which the president and the White House is firmly pushing back on. The White House says that this is a meeting to talk about a host of issues. They have a lot to try to sort out, and this will be their first face-to-face meeting since Kevin McCarthy rose to the speaker position. In terms of the debt ceiling, obviously that will be something they have to address. You've been reporting on the impending deadline that is later this year. And, they have to figure out a way to prevent the U.S. from defaulting on its loans. Kevin McCarthy told our colleague Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation that he would not let that happen. The problem is, Anne Marie, that in order to get the speakership, he cut so many deals, right? And Republicans expect there to be spending cuts. So the question is, what is going to be cut? What programs are going to be cut? The president has said he will not negotiate on this, and that, the Republicans have raised the debt ceiling before without spending cuts, and they expect Republicans to do the same. That's much easier said than done. And the president's been through this as a senator himself. So we do expect there to be friction, but these two men have worked together before for quite some time. And again, they have to figure out some solution so the markets don't completely rattle with a default.
And Weijia, really quickly, right before we got to you, we reported that the Biden administration is going to be ending the COVID emergency status in May, though, not immediately, like Republicans had requested. What does this mean?
Well, whenever a president declares an emergency, a national emergency, that really just opens up new federal funding, new tranches of money that are available. And as you mentioned, the administration is stressing that if you were to just all of a sudden stop that, that would put the healthcare system throughout the country into chaos because, they still have to transition and sort out how different programs will be funded, which ones have to end, et cetera. So that's why, they plan to do that in 5 more months or 4 more months to give themselves some time to transition with states. But we should say, many states have already lifted a lot of these emergency declarations on their own. And so some critics of the administration say this is a long time coming.
Weijia, thank you very much.
Sure.